Am I even live? Let's see. Looks like we are. So, let's see. Looks like we're up and running. Hello, everyone. Oh, well, it's still just me at the moment. um, so, little bit of Christmas comms for you. We are at the final round of the season now. We've got a three-way title fight in Tier 2 White for the finale of the championships, and someone's making a thread in the announcements page. What the fuck is going on there? Ugh. Well, do your evaluation. That's my answer. Anyway, where am I? Yeah, so let's have a look at the old standings. So the standings as we headed into the final round in Tier 2 White, like I said, it was a three-way title fight, and Raf has a 13-point lead over Giles. So Raf's on 202, the only person over 200 at this stage. Well, Giles is on 189, and then 29 points behind Raf is Senor Fak, who has been on a bit of a charge in the second half of the season. He's got 5 podiums in 6 races, and the last one was when he tried medium soft strategy in the Spa feature, which had him in the podium positions for a while, but then he finished 12th. But it was really the opening round for Fak at Deep Forest, where he scored almost, well, about 6 points, I think, in the opening round. And then after that, every round's been pretty good for him. Raf, his worst round was also Deep Forest because he DNF'd the feature. But apart from that, he's always finished in the top 7. He's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 podiums compared to Giles, who doesn't have a race win, but he's still in the fight. He's got 7 podiums. So let's go through the grid. We've only got 11 today, which is really disappointing, and is part of the reason why, even though we've got so many more sign-ups for this upcoming season, we won't be expanding tiers. We'll be staying at 8 most likely. There's a slim chance we reduce to 7, because there's a lot of people who've signed up who haven't even passed eval yet. So, like, can you even include them in the numbers if there's no guarantee they're ever going to actually take and pass evaluation? It's a bit of a difficult one. But anyway, let's go through the grid. In last place, we've got Higgsy, actually, who's actually had pole positions this season, so a really disappointing qualifying for him. Then we've got Deco, who's had a rotten season in that McLaren. He'll be happy to have the season over and done with and prepare for next season. Asador in the Alfa Romeo 4C. Not really got to grips with this track. I did expect a better season from Asador, to be honest. I think he'll be disappointed with how it's gone. Then we got Sargent in the Jag in 8th, which is fairly decent. He's a second off of the fastest time. That's a 57.2. And then also in the 57s was Eroticos, a bit better for him. He's in 7th. And then our first of the championship rivals is Giles, who's only managed to get 6th place. That's a disaster for him. 7/10ths off of pole position. And he's going to have to overtake Scotty in the Aston Martin. He's going to have to overtake Perry in the Toyota, who's no longer in the championship fight after missing a few rounds and having a bit of a stinker in Kyoto. Whack with probably his best qualifying of the season, up in 3rd place. And then we've got the other 2 championship challenges. We've got the outside bet of Senor Fak in 2nd, and we've got the Lexus of Raf, our championship leader, getting the another bonus point. And I always do that, always go into the photo mode. Let's go back. So this is looking really strong for Raf at the start, and it's going to really depend on how he manages to negotiate this first lap. There's usually a lot of incidents in the first corner of this one. It's very tricky braking zone into well, you can go bowling here. Let's just put it that way. Let me just get the stream back up in case people want to tell me things as we get going. So yeah, let's get this final round started. We got 8 laps of Nurburgring GP in store for us. All 5 lights are on, and it looks like we're off. Raf looked like he got a slightly better reaction time, and he does cover off Fak. Whack is up into second. He's going to try and overtake Raf into turn 1 as well. I think Raf's going to be able to cover him off. Scotty's there in 3rd place as well, so Fak has dropped really low down. We've got Perry in 5th. We've got Eroticos trying to get past both of them and get a double overtake done. Up into 4th place now he is, and we've got Gilles all the way down in 7th. So a really good start for Raf, pretty much perfect. He's got a lot of cars in between himself and everyone else. We've got Fak and Perry side by side here. Perry's trying to get back up into, Fak's trying to get back up into 5th place there. And we've got Gilles having a little, well, he's been overtaken by Asseldor now, so this is an absolutely terrible start for Gilles. He's really late on the brakes there to try and get that position back, and pushes Asseldor onto the curbs a little bit there, but Asseldor gets a better exit, and they are still side by side here. And Asseldor should be able to cover that one off. A little bit further up, Raf has maybe a half-second lead over Whack at the moment, so Whack is keeping him on, and Scotty's really close behind as well. And a great start there for Eroticos, and Fak defending fiercely from Perry here. So let's see if Perry tries to chuck one down the inside of this next corner. He is very close here into the braking zone. He's looking at it, but he backs out of it and actually loses a fair chunk of time there. But everyone's snaking around at the moment. Everyone is still in the lead pack as well. So the question is, Whack has to really catch Raf if the championship fight is going to keep interesting, but instead he's probably going to be looking a little bit more over his shoulder here. Scotty taking a lot more curbs on the entry into that chicane. A little bit out of shape on the exit, and Whack gets a better run, but goes immediately wide at the final corner. This might open the door here for Scotty, who's got really good acceleration in 3rd and 4th gear here, but might struggle now that they're going into 5th, and with the speed of that Alpha engine. Everyone's pretty much line astern as we were. Asseldor trying to have a little move on Perry here, so a really good start for the Alphas in this race. Higgsy up 1 place into 10th, and Deco is shuffled down into 11th. Raf's starting to pull a bit of a gap now. I'd say that's about a second he's got on Whack at this point. So he's looking good for the race win here. We'll see how the race develops, and we'll see if we actually get any rain. I think the feature race, there might be a little bit of rain on the forecast. I don't actually know how that one went though, so we'll see. Senor Fak's now caught up to Eroticos here. So let's ride on board with Senor Fak. He needs to get himself into the podium positions. Well, actually, Fak needs a bit of a miracle at this point. He needs for Raf. Oh, Eroticos got wide there. That is going to be an easy position for Senor Fak. And yeah, Fak's up into 4th, but what he needs to stay in this championship fight is for Raf to really tumble down the order here. A win for Raf will definitely put Fak out of the championship fight, and at the moment it would probably put Gilles out of the title fight as well, who's all the way down in 8th. He needs a lot more points than this. Perry started to put a bit of pressure on Eroticos as well. Still not a big field spread at the end of lap 2 here, so it's been pretty neat and tidy by everyone. I know Gilles was struggling a little bit with that chicane in practice. It looks like he took it a little bit better this time. Let's see if he can get a run. He needs a great exit here. Looks like he took way too much speed off in the final corner, and that allowed Asseldor a few extra car lengths, and that's going to stop Gilles from having a go. Unless he's really brave and goes for a bit of a dive bomb here. If there's any time to be a little bit reckless with your driving, it's when you're in 8th place in a championship fight with only 1 round to go. Alright, goes a little bit wide there. I wonder if that's going to be a penalty. I think he might get away with that one. Perry's a little bit laggy here. And look how wide everyone's taking the exit. That is actually the quickest way to do it, and you don't get a penalty there. That is realistic. That is what people do at the Nurburgring GP in real life in these kinds of cars as well. I can't remember if the F1 cars did that. They've obviously got a really low floor, so I don't know if they could actually get away with doing that every single lap without wearing the plank and getting disqualified like we've seen a few times this season. They used to though, like back in the mid noughties, they used to go really wide there, just like these cars. Different types of cars from 20 years ago, that's for sure. Scotty's starting to put a bit of pressure on Wack now. Wack is just letting Raf, edge out by a few tenths here and there. And Senor Fak really is with this front group as well. So he'll be ruining his opening corner, Senor Fak, because that opening corner might be what put the nail in the coffin for his little late in the season championship run. Ooh, all of them a little bit dodgy through the hairpin, but Scotty manages to stay close. If he could get early on the brakes here, this might be it now. He's super close to Wack now, but he's already pulling alongside to try and get the move done. He's going to have the inside line for turn 1. And this might be P2 for Scotty. Wack squeezing it tight into the apex and gets a great exit and takes P2. That was a great move there from Wack. Let's watch that, because it looked like he'd lost this position. He's caught on the outside. Scotty's got the overspeed here. Wack later on the brakes. And just able to get on the throttle really nicely there to retake P2. He wants that podium to finish off his season, definitely. And then Fak just biding his time. If Fak can at least get up into P2, might give him a fighting chance of catching Raf in the second half of the race. But yeah, not much Scotty can do. A little bit further back, Eroticos is still holding up Perry. Giles is past Asseldor, but he's in a little bit of no man's land here in 7th place. And then Sergeant Higgsy and Deco are pretty much as you were. So as it stands, let me have a quick look at the standings, because I'm pretty sure this would wrap things up already. Yeah, Giles has to outscore Raf by 3 points because Raf has the pole position. Make that 4 points because Raf has more wins in order to take this into the feature race. So Raf is doing everything he needs in this sprint race to get this wrapped up. If he can not bottle it, essentially. That's all he needs to do, not bottle. So, Senor Fak looks like he's got a great run on Scotty now. So the previous lap, Scotty was trying to overtake Wack, and now he's about to get overtaken himself. He's deciding not to go too defensive here, and Senor Fak is gonna take that pretty easily as well. So back into the podium positions for Senor Fak, from 5th back up into 3rd place there. Perry's finally got past Eroticos as well. So Eroticos falling backwards a little bit as the race rolls on after his great start. And Giles not too far behind, and Astor's also not too far behind. So Eroticos has a bit of work to do if he wants to score some good sprint race points. Senor Fak is going to be the one who's going to try and chase down Wack now. Wack defended great from Scotty. Let's see what he can do against Senor Fak. Late on the brakes for Fak. You can brake super late for that corner, way later than you used to be able to, when the cars were a bit lighter and had a bit more power. Here we go. He's looking. Can't quite get alongside just yet. I have a feeling he might go into the next chicane. Whack a little bit wide through there. That is definitely going to open the door now for Senor Fak. And Fak trying to pull up along the inside. He's not quite there, having to tuck in. I think he pulled out a little bit too early. Going the wide way around that fast corner. Gets a little bump draft there from Scotty, which I don't think Scotty wanted to do. And wide again at this final corner, so Fak crumbling under the pressure a little bit. A couple of corners in a row where he could have taken that a little bit better. Maybe the dirty air's coming into play, but now Scotty's going to come back at him. And Scotty backs out of it. What's Giles up to? Giles is still quite a way behind Eroticos here, so he's not making that much progress as the race wears on. Maybe this just isn't a track that suits the McLarens too well. Senor Fak a little bit wide there. I think he'll get away with that as well. Run light track limit penalties. So the pressure that Wack's been on pretty much since the start of the race, he's coped with it pretty well, to be honest. And Raf hasn't really got away that much, considering Wack's been defending quite a lot. Raf does have the quickest lap of the race at 56.2, which might end up being the fastest lap as well, so that's just an extra nail in the coffin for Giles and for Senor Fak here and there. Bid to keep this championship challenge alive, at least into the feature. Yeah, just still stuck behind Wack. So this was his opportunity last time. Really a horrible place to try an overtaking move though into this chicane. It's one-way traffic. You can't go side by side through these twisty corners, and that might be it. Wack completely cut that corner. He might be getting a penalty for that. It depends how much he lifted. He did lift a lot, that's why Fak's overtaken him, so he might get away with it. But there we go, Fak up into second where he started. And Wack defending a lot from Scotty here, so this might be a doubly costly move because he's still suffering from the effects of going wide there and losing all that time. Scotty not as brave on the brakes again. Wack's taking turn one pretty nicely. He's not been... no one's managed to get the better of him into turn one this race. And he has a chance to regain his composure a little bit. And we've got Perry still in 5th place. He's not really troubling the top 4 despite all the fighting that they're doing. And Eroticos keeping pace with him after getting overtaken. Giles struggling to keep up with the top 6, but he is looking comfortable with everyone behind him. And everyone else is exactly as they were. So 1.5 laps left to go before we have potentially a new Tier 2 champion. A potential first championship in ALR for Raf. It's actually his first full season. He only did 1 race previously in Monday League. So quite a good outing. Started as a reserve as well and then became full-time because one of the full-timers decided not to race at all. So didn't have one of the better car picks, although he still managed to get the Lexus. And I know that the people clown on the Lexus lately, but it is still probably the best fuel tank on the grid. So even though it doesn't have the ultimate pace that it used to, as well as the fuel tank, it definitely is always up there at the end of the season, because you could just go so much longer on your harder tyres. And it opens up a couple of extra strategy options that other cars can't have, and you don't need to fuel save like other cars. So he's starting his final lap. It's going to be his final tour. Senor Fak has managed to get away from Wack. Wack's still under pressure from Scotty. This might be the overtake that Scotty was trying to do. Like I said, Wack hasn't been beaten at turn 1 so far at this race. Late on the brakes again, just like before, and oh, he's knocking over all the corners, and he was a little bit too wide there, and Scotty gets into 3rd on this final lap. And Eroticos with a half-second penalty now might actually allow Giles to get 1 extra position, but it's not going to mean anything at this stage. The only thing that stops Raf from winning this championship is Raf. Senor Fak's taken the fastest lap off him. So there's 1 point gone, but that is not enough. It's been an incredible season for Raf. You might notice he's got the distinct moniker on his PSN account. Distinct, whatever. Drivers are always very quick. We've had a few of them in ALR. I think we've had 1 or 2 join recently as well and sign up for next season. So he's going to take his championship in 3 or 4 more corners here. Raf trying his hardest to chase him down. I wonder if Raf knows that this is it for him. If he's done the maths in his head, he probably knows that a win in this kind of scenario is probably enough. He probably can't even see where Gilles is on his screen as well. Eroticos 7, that half-second penalty. Gilles gets past him. The final chicane into the final corner for Raf with a fantastic season in Tier 2. He is going to be our Tier 2 White champion for Season 20, the final season of 2025. Well earned for Raf. Championship winner. Senor Fak in second, Scotty in third. Whack. Oh, he's actually going to be 5th at the end because of that half-second penalty. Gilles takes 6th. Asildor 7th, Eroticos 8th, Sergeant 9th, Higgsy with reverse grip pole, and Deco a little bit further back. He must have had, he had a 2-minute 10 lap on lap 7. Apart from that, he was with them the entire time. So that's going to be P11 for Deco. And I think that might also wrap up the constructors for Audi as well. Senor Fak with a P2, and the other Audi is going to be starting the feature for reverse grip pole. They've had a fantastic season. Let's find the feature race. Be a little bit further down. Here we go. Nope. So if you're watching, please leave a like. Apparently, it helps a lot with engagement and getting the word out there to other people. Although we don't really need more people, do we? We've got a lot of sign-ups. Record number of sign-ups for this season, for season 21. I think we're on 170 something if you include the full-timers and the reserves. So probably going to be 8 tiers. I'm going to wait until sign-ups close at 8 PM tonight to see how the maths is mathing, because like I said, there's a few people who haven't finished evaluation yet, and we need to have a little bit of a discussion today on what to do with them. So let's see. Higgsy's starting on the softs, mediums for Sargent, and hard tires for Perry, hard for Raf. So maybe Higgsy's going to try the soft medium and just drive away at the start. That's kind of what I did, and it worked pretty well for me until the the penultimate lap. I went off and lost 5 positions. I was in 2nd place. So that's why, that's kind of just how my season's gone, to be honest. Medium soft for these guys. Higgsy, Sargent, Eroticos, Gilles. I think Perry's going to be struggling at the start. He might get overtaken by pretty much everyone. And we don't have Deco for this one, which is a bit of a shame. He finished his season a race early, so we've only got 10 for this feature race. Let's see how things go. Who is going to win the final race of the season? Bit of an exhibition race because we've already got a championship winner. And let's see what happens when the rain comes down as well. So it's going to be a race of halves, essentially. Higgsy defending into turn 1. I don't think he's got too much to worry about from Sargent, although the Jag does start pretty nicely in the feature races. He's still pretty close to Higgsy. Eroticos under a little bit of pressure from Asildor early on as well. And Senor Fak putting pressure on Scotty, who's trying to get past Perry. Perry the only one on the hards apart from Raf. Looks like he's struggling a little bit, so let's stick with Scotty and see how quickly he can get past Perry. He's going to chuck it. No, it's not really a corner where you can chuck it like that. Scotty was wise to it, trying to spook Perry a little bit, but it didn't work out. Now this next braking zone should be the overtaking spot for Scotty here. He's already got some good speed. Perry's not really defending it either. Late braking. And Perry's not going to be able to hang it around the outside, so what is Fak going to do? Fak is super close behind. He's going to be the next one to try and get past. Raf shouldn't be a problem for Perry. They might both get caught adrift at the back here. see all the cars snaking around these corners, pretty much as you were. Higgsy starting to break away at the front comfortably, which you'd expect. So we're looking for about 7 laps for Higgsy on these soft tyres, I reckon. If he can get more, then that's fantastic. But he needs 7 at the minimum. On a full tank as well, might not be too easy. But yeah, Perry driving pretty nicely on these hard tyres. Senor Fat can't find a way around, and Perry's not, well, he is losing a 10th here and there, but it's not a massive amount that he's losing, and he's going defensive. He doesn't want to lose this position at all to Senor Fat. Into the braking zone. This is the only move. And look how far back Raf is. And there's you go, Senor Fak with a move similar to what Wack was doing in the sprint race to get up into 8th place. And he will start to drive away from Perry now. And it'll just be a job for the hard guys to manage as best they can up until the pit sequence. And then try and go from there. At the front, Higgsy's got maybe just over 3 seconds lead on Sargent, and that's pretty good going for the start of lap 2. So he needs to continue to extend that, because maybe he's going to do a 2-stop. I don't think the 2-stop's a good idea. If it stays dry, I think the soft medium is still a lot quicker. And I think the Audi could probably do that. Sargent is a bit of a cork in the bottle as well. He's got a Roticos and Assador pretty close behind him. The Jag is a difficult car to overtake. It's got really good acceleration, even though it's got its flaws, including having to massively short shift in feature races. That is a massive flaw of the Jag. So Roticos has a chance to get a podium here if he can get past Sargent and maybe break away from the rest of the pack. Everyone else pretty much line astern. You can see the 2 cars cut off at the back are the hard runners. Oh. Isn't it funny when a car looks like it's about to lose it and it actually gains a huge amount of time on the car in front? So, Sargent got a much better exit from that last corner, even though Roticos exited it right on his tail. And that's going to allow Sargent to be safe from a dive bomb here, that's for sure. Looks like Wack and Gilles are having a bit of a go at each other. Wack trying to get past Gilles here, so Gilles really struggling because I don't think it's very often that we've seen Wack overtake Gilles on pace this season. Of course, Gilles in P2 still hasn't got his race win, so unless he wins this one, he's not going to be in the Race of Champions. It's going to be Raf and Senor Fak, and that Race of Champions is tonight. As we see Assador trying to get involved in this little battle as well. Yeah, Race of Champions tonight, 8 PM GMT. Me and Pyro will be commentating. It's going to have all of the championship winners and most of the championship runner-ups as well. Going to be at Abu Dhabi, an hour-long race. All 3 compounds are needed. Apart from that, it's pretty much the same as normal feature race settings. And it's going to start reverse grid, so we're going to have a tier 6 driver on pole, and we're going to have BX, our tier 1 champion, starting from 15th place, trying to work his way up. And a little fact about the Race of Champions, it's never been won by someone outside of tier 1. So that means that either BX or Plat has to win the Race of Champions, or else that curse will finally be broken. So we got Raf is definitely taking part, and then like I said, unless Gilles wins this race, it's going to be Senor Fak. And then in the other tier 2, it's Mighty Mini Smiley in his Citroen, and Taz, yeah, it's Taz in the Audi. So 2 Audis, him and Fak performing very well in both of the tier 2s. You think about a car for next season and the Audi's unbanned in your tier, definitely worth a little test. So pretty much as you were here, Scotty's and Senor Fak are pretty close to the back of Gilles now, and Wack is starting to form a little bit of a train. Starting to lose touch with his teammate Assador just a little bit. Here comes Scotty. No, he doesn't really get alongside in time to have a go there. Senor Fack, maybe just preserving the tyres here. He's not really driving as aggressively as we're seeing some of these other drivers do. And something's happened at the front because Eroticos has dropped to 4th. Right, let's ride on board. At the moment, absolutely nothing to worry about for Eroticos. It's just chilling in 3rd place. Bit of a late braking there. Oh dear. Now he's got to let Sargent through, and Asador is going to nip through as well. Or is he? So this is going to allow Wack to close the gap a little bit. Yeah, Asador covers him off. Takes that P3. So that little late braking from Eroticos has potentially cost him a podium here. And he's a little bit twitchy as well. So what's Wack going to do? Eroticos feels the need to go defensive. Oh, a little bit wide there for Sargent, but he manages to swoop back in and take actually a really strong exit. Let's have a little look and see what the gap is going to be between Higgsy and Sargent now. Higgsy's tyre is still not 50% worn. Okay, so he crossed at 7 minutes 20. 7 minutes 25, so he's got a 5-second lead at the moment, and he should still be extending. He's about he was 9/10ths quicker than Sargent on that previous lap. The problem that Higgsy's got is the guys behind haven't been fighting too much. Although I say that, look at this, Gilles ahead of Wack. Something's happened here. Let's ride on board with Gilles. Something's happened to Wack in these next couple of corners. So he's a little bit wide there. Nothing too bad. Now is Gilles going to have a go into the chicane? This might be the first attempt at an overtake at the chicane that we've seen. And Wack's caught on the outside. Gilles is going to get retaken straight away though. And is Scotty going to be able to get involved as well? Not quite. So Wack gets away with that one. Wack always a little bit wide in the final corner. Gilles going late on the brakes. Oh dear. He makes contact with the Eroticos and loses 2 positions, make that potentially 3 if Senor Fat gets around. Everyone else manages to survive just fine. So yeah, Gilles and Fak having a little battle now, because he's still a little bit out of shape, but he looks like he's going to cover off his rival. These two are still battling for the position in the championship for P2. So if Fat can get past Gilles and then make his way back up through the field, he might actually finish second on in the championship as well. Little drag race. Oh, good corner there for Gilles. Really late on the brakes, kept it tight. And Scotty is in the gravel and he's going to lose those 2 positions. Let's see what's happened to Scotty. He's in 5th gear. I wonder if he's had a wheel issue. Let's see. At the moment, everything's fine. Up into 5th. Well, he's not downshifting. Yeah, there must be some problem there with his wheel, and he's gonna. Yeah, he's trying to. He doesn't know what's going on. That is really strange. Must be wheel issues. There must be a connect. Oh, I remember, because I told him what the issue was. He's got a loose wire in his wheel, so it's not connecting properly. But he doesn't know that yet at this time. So that's his race scuppered. Technical difficulties. So that puts Vac up into 7th. Gilles is in 6th. Wack is putting some pressure on Eroticos now. Higgsy's still staying out. Let's see what Higgsy's gap looks like as we finish this lap. He's still in the 57s. Can he stay in the 57s? He's going to be in the 58s for the first time. So that was 9 minutes 50. Yeah, he's still 5 seconds ahead of Sargent. They're both in the 58s. So we're at the equalizing part of the tyre life for the softs. And he could easily do another 2 laps on these. Maybe might not want to do 3 more. I think that might be a little bit too much to ask. He'd lose a lot of the time that he's built up if he does that. And what these guys are going to try and do now, probably, if we don't see them come in on lap 7 to put on some softs, they're potentially going to try and stay out until lap 14-ish on these mediums, make them last as long as possible. As Wack and Eroticos having a nice little battle here to try and make the one-stop work, medium soft. One of the very few tracks where medium soft is even remotely viable at the moment. A little bit deep there for Wack. Eroticos trying to switch back, and it looks like it's going to work. They're still going to have a bit of a drag race here. Now we're going to approach a really dangerous part of the track to go side by side, but Wack backs out of it. Eroticos keeps his P4 for now. Good little battle from the two of them. Lost a bit of time to Asseldor now, though. And it keeps Gilles close, Senor Fax close. Perry's actually doing much better on his hard tyres than Raf. Raf lapping in the 2 minutes on his hards. Perry's been in the 59s mostly. Is this the race of a man who knows he's won the championship? Probably. Anyway, crossing the line, let's do a little check of the times here. 58.8 for Higgsy. 58.6 for Sargent, so he's going to start closing the gap now. He's another 2/10 quicker on that lap. 58.9 for Asseldor, 59.8 for Wack with his battling with Eroticos. Eroticos going to try and get this move done maybe into turn 1. Nothing you can do about that, but he will get it before the end of the lap with this half-second penalty. And that half-second penalty might drop Wack behind Gilles and Fack as well. So this might be a really costly penalty that Wack's got himself here. Oh, nearly spinning it. Both of them nearly spinning it. Nearly had some synchronized pirouettes there. Yeah, Wack's struggling at this stage of the race. He's definitely dropping back from Asseldor as well. And this train is going to grow impatient very quickly, I reckon. All 3 of the drivers that Wack is currently ahead of have raced in Tier 1 before. Here's the penalty coming up after these next couple of corners. So let's ride on board and see if this is going... He's actually got a little bit of a gap that he's formed in this middle part of the track. So he might... Oh, he's tried the grass cheat, I guess you could call it. And he might actually keep ahead of all of them because he's got the inside line for the chicane. Oh, he's pushing Eroticos off a little bit. That was naughty. And now we're going to go 3 wide into the final corner. Gilles trying to get past. Yeah, Wack's going to be caught on the outside there. But he's going to keep at least one of those positions. Eroticos and Wack lose out. We've got Higgsy in the pits for his stop. We've got Senor Fack trying to get past as well. Gilles and Wack side by side. Eroticos and Fack side by side. And Eroticos a little bit deep there. That's going to allow Fack to get through, surely. So bad couple of corners there for Eroticos. He's down to 6th now. Wack ahead of Gilles. So Wack's managed to get past Gilles again. So that's good recovery there for Wack after nearly losing out to 2 cars. He's actually got himself back into 3rd place. Let's see what Scotty's on. Scotty's out of the pits. Not Scotty, sorry. Higgsy's out of the pits on mediums. He has fueled all the way to the full as well. So he is trying the 1-stop. Trying to get used to those mediums. He needs to get on top of that quickly because he's still going to have the tyre advantage on the whole field to continue building on that 5-second gap that he had. So he needs to put in the hard work here without burning his tyres too much. He needs to be hitting all the apexes basically if he wants to win this race. Sargent is the race leader, but he's got a half-second penalty. That means Asseldor might take over the lead. Let's see if Asseldor can catch Sargent. And a little bit slowing down there. It might be enough. He had quite a nice gap on Asseldor. And he is going to keep his P1. A little bit further back, we've got all these 4 cars still very close together. Oh, something's happened. What's happened? As soon as I went off of Sargent, he lost the lead. Oh, there we go. That is quite the corner cut. Lost a lot of time there. He's going to get a penalty on top of that. He might not. He was going pretty slow through there. So he's going to be P2 now. Still not the end of the world, but not great for Sargent. We've got Wack still at the front of this fight for the final podium position. Perry's actually joining this fight as well now. So that's how much time these guys have been losing, squabbling over each other. And what's happening down here? Raf is getting past Scotty. Scotty's still having trouble with his wheel and his loose wires. But yeah, this is looking good for Asseldor to get a win on the final race of the season. He's still lapping pretty quickly as well, close to his best time that he set on lap 2 in that first sector. Sargent has a bit of a gap to Wack as well. He wants these guys to continue fighting so that he can come out after the pits in some good clear air. Gilles lining up a bit of a move on Wack here as well.